Instead of spreading out, I'm going pretty concentrated, and I'll get into everything I do. But remember to drop the questions in as soon as you guys get into chat about either basketball or baseball tonight, because we need to try to get those things answered for you before we get out of here around 6:30. Okay, so starting with baseball, and I'm just finishing up editing out my Nelson Cruz lineups. I am all over the Twins. They're my highest owned team by far. I am also all over the Braves. Those two teams basically make up a majority of my ownership with a little bit of Yankees and Indians. One-offs, Meadows, Rendon, Upton, Adolis Garcia, Nomar Mazara. And then you have the guys in that game, Acuna, Albies, Sano, Donaldson, Kirilov, Kepler, um, that sort of fit in well. So those are who I'm going with. I'm going to jump over and make sure I get the questions part of this loaded up so we can make sure we're rolling here. Because, like I said, we're just still trying to figure out all the stuff with the site and everything. And some of the hiccups that come are just naturally going to happen. So not a lot we can do about it. But it is improving. So it is also really slow when I use this, which I'm trying to figure out. Because it's when I use the system, it's like it slows down my whole computer. So when I have a bunch of lineups, it really is hard for me to go up till lock unless we have sheets here also, because I am just completely distracted. And I am going to. This is the problem. See, look, we already have the video is written in as the wrong name. Things happen, you know. It's that time when we're just a little bit off. But anyway, guys, yeah, let me know what your questions are, what thoughts you have, who you're stacking, who you're pitching. We have a slew of pitchers. I just named all my stacks and basically almost all my hitters. I'm going to jump over to pitchers in a minute. But again, feel free to drop your questions off when you get a chance. So just trying to fix this screen here. All right. MLB DFS, live before lock here. That's what we're going to call this. Come on. So yeah, I really can't edit while I'm on here at all with the current system. So I've got my crew working on it, but it's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating not to have it all ready for you guys. Sorry about that. But like we said, it's beta testing mode. We'll be doing it all, and we'll be on point by the, I guess it would be like the third week of June would be the latest. All right. Anyway, we are talking about pitchers. There's so many good ones tonight, and they're all basically have terrible umpires, which if that tells you anything. So I am letting that dictate a tiny bit for me, but I'm just sort of going back to what I originally wanted to do, and that's playing a ton of Gaussman and playing a ton of the low-owned. Why can't I think of his name? I'll jump over to my screen in a minute. But Giolito. Sorry, this is what happens when you try to multitask and your screen is taking forever to load any screen. So, all right. So we're saved. We're good. Everybody say what's up when you get into chat. Remember to like and subscribe, all that stuff. So I'm leaning. I actually found it easier to get to DeGrom and Scherzer than I thought I was going to. Again, neither have as great hitters umpire. They're expensive, and it does sacrifice some things with your bats. But because of the way Minnesota lineups shook out, and some of the reasonable price bats like Swanson and Riley are for the Braves, it's kind of hard for me not to do that there. All right, hopefully, regardless of what it says, I'm here. And I don't know what it's supposed to be saving what I changed the name to, but it is just super slow. Let me know if you can hear me too, by the way, because this is really slow. We'll get the kinks figured out, so bear with us. If you're going to come in and anybody comes in to troll or whatever, no interest in hearing it. We're trying to talk just strictly DFS. So Giolito, Gaussman, I do have some Burns. I thought he was going to be really chalky, and he's, again, another terrible hitter's umpire. DeGrom, Scherzer, and I have some Kershaw, even another terrible pitcher's umpire. That's unfortunate. Heaney has a terrible pitcher's umpire, and I'm playing a little bit of him as well. But that's pretty much across the board. That's who it is. You get a neutral umpire with Giolito, and that's good enough for me on this slate because literally everybody they brought all the hitters umpires out for this game. All right, so let's jump over. And is there anybody else? So you can consider the other guys that you consider for large field: Musgrove, Savale, Berrios, and Flaherty. I do think that I'm going to probably want to get one Musgrove in just because in one of my bigger ones, just because I do think there's a huge upside for him there, but I don't feel amazing about it, to be honest with you. Again, guys, the screen is not going to be up right now. We're doing this as a live, just basically talking session. And I could put my head in the middle, but no reason to really do that. And yeah, I don't see anybody in chat yet, although I see people there. I just don't see people actually chatting, but I can't tell if that's just because my screen is slow or not. But yeah, Musgrove, the more I thought about it throughout the day, the more I thought, okay, I do think I want to get a little bit of this and a little bit of Burns as well. There's just massive upside for both those guys. But Musgrove facing that Milwaukee lineup, it's hard. All right, thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that you can hear us. Just a reminder to drop questions in, because with baseball, I'm not really going to, I do have some things I need to edit, but I'm not going to be going crazy editing a million things right now, just because I don't need to. Let's see, we've got over there. Okay, here we go. We're gonna switch up our pictures in one of our bigger ones, and get a little bit of Musgrove just in case, because it's not my favorite play, but I've got a lot of lineups out there today, and I do think that there's the upside, so I'm going to have to take a shot instead of fully fading like he did the night of the no-hitter, which was the night I was winning everything. If I literally just played him, we all have those stories. Anyway. Okay, so, yeah, it's I think basically I told you guys pretty much what I'm doing. I don't really have a whole lot else to add, so drop questions in for baseball. Otherwise, I will just tell you what I'm doing with my NBA, and we might get on the road and just get moving if we don't have anything else. So, okay, let me see real quick. I want to play. I definitely have more. I was flipping back and forth on Giolito today, and I ended up liking him a lot. So I just like him. I'm going with my read and going with Giolito a lot. Feel mixed about it, to be honest with you, but I'm still doing it. All right, did we get Kershaw there? Yeah. All right. It does, if you think about it just from a point thing, even with a bad, Kershaw just doesn't have blow-up outings very often, and I know it's a tough matchup-ish, but I don't think it's an impossible matchup, so I am not as completely off of Kershaw as the industry is probably telling me to be. All right, so that lineup is made, and we are done. So I talked about overall play. There's some value. I like Nomar Mazara in the outfield. You can pay for the minimum cost guy with the Twins for the Twin stacks, Owen Miller. I love Ozzie Albies tonight, and I don't mind paying up for him because there's other places to get different. So that's what I'm doing there. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have any questions in
thought
here.
About it throughout the day. The more I thought, okay, I don't.
Get some questions in, guys. Let's talk about some stuff. Get some thoughts in. Get some takes in. Whatever. Just let's get it going. Because I don't like doing solo shows personally unless I'm interacting with the people. I really don't. It's not my best strength at all. All right. On pretty much FanDuel, the only thing that's different is my pitching is going to end up being a lot of Scherzer, some DeGrom, maybe some Giolito. That's where I sort of stand over there. In fact, it might be worth it to maybe that's where I go for the Musgrove for the upside, because I have three big lineups on FanDuel, and that's sort of just what I was deciding between a couple 2v2s that included Giolito. It's not I don't usually like to include pitchers in my 2v2 decisions, but just today it's just I'm just looking upside, and there's a million guys, which makes you think you shouldn't pay all the way up, but at the same time, you get some security and you get the most upside. So, and it's not that hard to do. If you at least with the teams I'm playing, it's not that hard to do. A super contrarian play is Gausman on FanDuel. That's your crazy play of the day. I think Burns is in play also, but I think Musgrove just makes the most sense. If I'm already playing a ton of Giolito on DraftKings, I do want to get some exposure to attacking Milwaukee's offense because they are that bad. Yeah. Also taking a few one-offs, Bo Bichette in a couple lineups. from New York. And, I'm sorry, the New York game. And I'm playing an unhealthy amount for a giant slate of these Twins. I like the spot. I like the possibility of getting the bullpen. I like the weather, hitting conditions. I like the individual matchups. It's just hard for me to get away from them. Miguel Sano is probably my favorite overall play on the slate today, I think. But I don't think that that's like anything crazy. Well, I mean, I don't think that's going to be the way ownership is. I actually haven't double checked ownership in a few minutes, so it could have changed a little. Jamie likes the Angels. Okay, Jamie, I'm on board, but my only Angels are Rendon and Upton. I just don't find myself paying for Ohtani on this slate with so many great payups. Even if he goes crazy, it's still not the best hitting environment, but you do get great prices on Upton and Rendon, so I love that. Cincinnati stack. No, not even wouldn't come in if I played 1,000 lineups. It wouldn't come in. I wouldn't have a Cincinnati stack. Some Dodger one-offs. I have that, Jamie. I did mention that at the very beginning, but maybe I should have repeated it again. I think that some makes some sense for sure. You could even pay for the cheap, just Austin Barnes, and say, hey, he used to catch him. He knows him better. I always think that that's an interesting play. I'm trying to look here. It looks like I have a little too much Higgy and not enough of James McCann, who I wanted to get some exposure to. I'm also using a lot of William Contreras, just because of my Brave stacks. But it feels weird because I don't really like. He's not my favorite play there. I just keep ending up on him. I can't seem to shake it, no matter what I do, which maybe is a mistake, and maybe it's something I should try to figure out here. All right. So with that said, I think that nothing's really different. I'm basically going to cut out of here if you guys don't have any basketball questions, anything like that. I know we have a little bit before lock, but I can tell you exactly who I'm playing right now if you do. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I appreciate you guys dropping in, though. I always do. And again, like and subscribe and all that stuff. We have a lot better stuff coming. You are the awesome beta testers that have really helped us, so we really appreciate it. Do I really want to do this? I really like James McCann as obviously today. Just as an option. But that's what I'm trying to decide. Like I have I can't seem to keep my stacks intact while trying to get exactly the guys I'm trying to get in. It's a little frustrating. Let's see if I put Kepler. And I'm fine for just fully punting catcher too, even though I like a few of these other options that I mentioned. I just think that when I look at how much William Contreras I have, I do like him actually in general. I think he's a better hitter than people think he is, but it just feels a little wrong. All right. Any other takes or ideas or thoughts before we get out of here, guys? Would love to hear them. Zach Collins, no. Who is your favorite? That's where I'm struggling too. Is that if I'm gonna even have to force myself, which I'm doing, to play a 2,700 catcher, who would that even be? Is what I'm trying to figure out here. It's really tough. It's tough little 2v2 I'm working on. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. If I played Garver, would that get me to anything I can play? What happened to Garver, man? This guy, I feel like he's not hitting this year the way that maybe just the way we're accustomed to, but he just doesn't look as good at the plate. But he does have 7 home runs. I mean, he's still, a viable play and all that stuff. Is Galvis, and that's what's going to happen. All right. So, let's see. We got Rugi. No, I don't really want to do that. Boy, it does put me in a funny little pickle that I'm in here. I hate when this happens and I can't seem to make strong take either way. There is the second base is so bad. There is the Indians kid to punt, and I'm even thinking about doing it as a one-off in some lineups. That shows you how bad it is. Oh, the other guy you can use is that Walls kid. But I'm putting myself in a funny spot with this bizarre stack I'm going for here. Yeah, well, that's what's gonna happen though. And yeah, I think we're pretty much good there. Oh, do we really have to do this? I don't have to do it, do I? I don't know if I need to do it. Okay, I'm leaving Miller. He's shown he's enough potential for me to just say, okay, I'll bet. I hope he just connects on one tonight. Boy, that wasn't the way I thought I was going to be stacking, but I think that it fits my lineup the best. Um, yeah, I'm having trouble even editing my lineups with this stream mode going. All right, hopefully you guys have dropped a few things in there, and I am going to be right back in there in a second. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about Garver. Yeah, I know he's been that way. All right, guys. Looks like we're pretty much done with that. Basketball, I am playing Paul George, Kawhi, some LeBron, some Kevin Durant on DraftKings. Pretty much the same on FanDuel. I do think LeBron and Anthony Davis are a good way to get different today. This is an important game from a team that's the world title. Like, somebody's going to have a big game today. I lean LeBron, but I do think Anthony Davis is an interesting tournament play as well. And Luka is a great play, but like on DraftKings, it's hard to get him in with the other guys. And I actually think just going underneath him is the right way, but I think it's not too uncommon. So he might actually be lower owned than he usually would be in this spot. Rondo has a long shot play on FanDuel, and I think is reasonable. I think the Clippers might do some things different. I like that game stack. You got Porzingis at 6,900 on FanDuel. That's the one thing that really stands out. Using Tristan Thompson on FanDuel as my center mostly, and I'm using Robert Williams as my center on DraftKings primarily. That's where I'm at. Anything from you guys before I hit the road? Well, I'm going to have to say then, guys, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. We really appreciate all the support, and we're excited to keep bringing you guys better stuff as it goes. I'll be in Discord for probably until 7:30 Eastern, so feel free to hit me up, and good luck all. Oh, any Oakland interest from Jamie? I get it, totally. I just didn't find it on this slate. There was just too many. I was too into the stacks that I'm into. Maybe that's a mistake. That's where I'm at, though. I'm willing to take a high variance shot tonight. Good luck to everybody, and we appreciate y'all.